The Phoenix of Salem. Judi Evans' triumphant return as Bonnie Kyriakis earns Performer of the Week honors. In a week filled with shocking returns, kidnapping horrors, and long-buried secrets, one performance soared above the rest, reminding viewers why Judi Evans is a true legend of the daytime drama. For her nuanced, heartfelt, and utterly captivating portrayal of a woman on the verge of her biggest dream, Judi Evans is our Performer of the Week. By Your Name/staff writer. Date: March 2nd, 2026. Salem is a town that runs on reinvention. From mad scientists with resurrection tubes to long-lost twins appearing out of thin air, change is the only constant. But every so often, a performer reminds us that while the stories may be wild, the heart of the show lies in its characters. This week, Judi Evans, as the one and only Bonnie Kyriakis, delivered a masterclass in exactly that. The week of February 23rd marked a significant moment for Days of Our Lives, not just for the high-octane drama of Stephanie Johnson's Abigail Cline, terrifying kidnapping, but for the quieter, yet equally powerful, triumph of Bonnie Kyriakis. After months of setbacks, near-fatal accidents, and the lingering shadow of her checkered past, Bonnie finally caught a break, and Evans made sure audiences felt every ounce of that hard-won joy. From the ashes of the elevator shaft, to appreciate the significance of this week's events, one must look back at the harrowing journey Bonnie has endured. Just a few months prior, Bonnie was the victim of a terrifying incident that harkened back to the meta-drama of the body and soul storyline. In January, viewers watched in horror as a distracted Bonnie, eyes glued to her phone, stepped into an open elevator shaft, plummeting down after Alex Kyriakis, Robert Scott Wilson, failed to catch her. It was a fall that mirrored the on-screen demise of Hattie Adams' Deidre Hall character, sparking a mystery about whether it was a tragic accident or something far more sinister. Justin Kyriakis, Wally Kurth, immediately suspected foul play, questioning, "I'm not so sure that my wife's fall was an accident." The incident forced Bonnie to the sidelines, leaving her future and her budding career as a writer hanging in the balance. But as any fan knows, you can't keep a good con turned Kyriakis down. Bonnie survived, and her return to the Salem canvas in late January set the stage for the emotional payoff we witnessed this week. The novel Dream, a performance of pure, unfiltered joy. This week's standout moments for Evans came not from a dramatic confrontation or a life or death struggle, but from a scene of pure, unadulterated aspiration. Since her return, Bonnie has been nurturing a new, legitimate dream. She's written a novel. After being turned down by Titan Publishing, a slight that felt personal, but was, as Justin assured her, just business, Bonnie's spirits were bruised but not broken. The clouds finally parted when Johnny DiMera, Carson Boatman, looking to revitalize DiMera Enterprises' publishing division, showed up at the Kyriakis mansion with a proposition. He wanted to read her manuscript. In that moment, Judi Evans was transcendent. The way she transformed Bonnie's face from casual greeting to shocked disbelief was a sight to behold. Her excited hug, her immediate pivot to marketing, complete with a pair of handcuffs as a gag promotional item, and the sheer, giddy disbelief in her voice as she exclaimed, "This is the best day ever," was the emotional equivalent of a warm hug for longtime viewers. Evans played Bonnie not as a seasoned businesswoman, but as a kid who had just been told she was going to Disney World. It was a reminder that underneath all the leopard print and the schemes, Bonnie Lockhart Kyriakis has always been searching for validation and a place to belong. This book deal with Johnny represented more than just a paycheck. It was a stamp of approval, a sign that she could be more than just the town's former troublemaker. When she later told Justin, "It pays to know people in high places," there was a twinkle in her eye that spoke of vindication, not gloating. The anchor of the Kyriakis clan. What makes Evans' performance so compelling this week is how she balanced Bonnie's personal triumph with her role as the supportive wife. While she was floating on cloud nine, her husband Justin was dealing with the fallout of the Horton family drama, specifically the custody mediation for Chad DiMera's Billy Flynn children. Evans' Bonnie listened intently as Justin recounted the mediation, proving just how far her character has come. Gone was the self-absorbed con artist. In her place was a partner, a confidant. Her simple query, "That's great if everyone's happy then," showed a grounded understanding of family dynamics that the old Bonnie would have scoffed at. This is the tightrope Evans has walked so expertly since Bonnie fell in love with Justin. She has softened the character's edges without losing her core identity. Bonnie is still brash, still loud, and still has a flair for the dramatic, but now that drama is channeled into championing her family and her own creative pursuits. A legacy forged in laughter and tears. This week's recognition isn't just for a few good scenes. It's a testament to the depth Evans has brought to a character who could have easily remained a one-note joke. When Bonnie Lockhart first arrived in Salem, she was impersonating the beloved Adrienne Johnson. The potential for the character to be a simple villain was high. But Evans, with her impeccable comedic timing and innate warmth, found the humanity in the huckster. She created a Bonnie who was hilarious in her schemes, but heartbreaking in her loneliness. Her partnership with Deidre Hall's Hattie Adams was a masterclass in campy, buddy comedy brilliance. But it was her genuine, tender romance with Wally Kurth's Justin that cemented her place in the fabric of the show. Evans herself has spoken about the delicate balance of the role, noting that directors would sometimes ask for a little more Adrienne-like, as Bonnie strived to become a better person. "I had to soften Bonnie up because she can be a lot to take," Evans explained in a past interview. "She had this hard life, which made her the way she was. But at the heart of it, at the heart of her, somewhere way deep down, her heart is in the right place." So it was about bringing that to the surface. This week, that heart was fully on display. As Bonnie stood in her living room, clutching her manuscript and dreaming of first-class flights to book signings, she wasn't just a former grifter. She was a woman who had fought for a second chance at love and a first chance at a legitimate dream, and won. Looking ahead. Of course, this is Salem, and happiness is rarely a permanent resident. Justin's lighthearted joke that they were jumping the gun hints at the reality checks to come. Furthermore, Kate Roberts, Lauren Koslow, has had her manipulative eyes on Bonnie's book deal as part of a larger scheme to undermine Xander and Johnny at Die Mara. There is a real possibility that Bonnie's novel could become a bargaining chip in the corporate wars of Salem, or worse, land her in legal trouble if its similarity to another story becomes an issue. But for this week, none of that mattered. All that existed was the radiant smile of a woman whose dream was finally coming true. Judi Evans reminded us why she is a Daytime Emmy winner and a beloved icon. She made us laugh with Bonnie's unfiltered excitement. She made us tear up with her vulnerability. And she made us fall in love with Bonnie Kyriakis all over again. For taking a moment of simple triumph and turning it into a symphony of emotion, Judi Evans is more than deserving of the Performer of the Week spotlight. Here's to Bonnie's next chapter. We can't wait to read it.